You know, a year ago we were in session and the Democrats ignored doing an adjusted budget, which created massive overruns in the state of Connecticut. I did believe, and I still believe, that they violated the budgetary process that's set forth by statute. Our Attorney General gave them a green light and issued an opinion letter that allowed them to just essentially do whatever they want. Now we're coming into a biennium process where the fact that they ignored those budget adjustments have now put them in the position to be unable to craft a budget. And that's frustrating. And I guess House Republicans right now are the only caucus in this building that has a budget that we could move forward, that is a biennium budget, that would certainly at least offer them 50 votes in the House. And if they want to have that conversation, then they should be looking at our document, what we put forth. But being out of the room completely and watching this train derail the way it has derailed, this is not 2017. This is not 2009. We are not faced with massive revenue shortfalls. We have plenty of revenue. This is about prioritizing. And 45 years ago, when the state of Connecticut voted for the spending cap and we debated shifting to a biennium budget, these were the very conversations that this chamber had and talked about living within our means and not trying to give a little bit to everybody, because when you do that, you end up with nothing. This is about sustainability. This is about priorities. This is about choices. And some adult needs to get in that room and start making these decisions.
I don't think the Democrats, even House Speaker Ritter said that they should have done something in 2017, and they didn't. So now what? I mean, so what is the path forward?
Well, I mean, obviously, we're just like you looking at this from the outside. But I'll say in 2017, it was different circumstances, because granted, we were seeing municipal cuts, but we did make changes to the statutes that protect our municipalities so the governor cannot rescind municipal money. So come July 1st, the governor's hands are going to be tied on what rescissions that he could make in order to balance government. So the governor is putting himself in a difficult position, just like the Democrats are. But to suggest that we need to pass something isn't enough. We need to pass something that is sustainable. And we're not even having a conversation about the fact that the illegal immigrant health care, the Medicaid overruns are still in this budget, which could cause Connecticut's budget to fall into a $1 billion deficit this September. And I think part of the problem that we have here today is the Democrats spent all of the winter and spring blaming President Trump and setting up the state of Connecticut for massive federal cuts. And those cuts didn't come through, and now they're left with actually having to do their job. And they're not in a position to be able to balance a budget.
$140 million to give raises to those nursing home workers?
I certainly support giving our nursing homes more funding. The contract, I wouldn't be leading with a contract that you couldn't budget for, and now you're left with a hole. So while I support the concept of funding our nursing homes and supporting those workers, you can't make that promise without showing how you're going to pay for it. So it's very frustrating to watch these Democrats giving everything away to everybody and having no way to pay for it, and then blaming the process or changing the process when in the end, Connecticut is going to be hit with higher taxes.
Your response to the Speaker's proposal to pay for those nursing home raises outside of the spending cap?
No, it all has to fall within the caps. All of these programs are government programs. And to suggest that certain groups of people should be given special treatment and funded differently is a derelict of duty. We have an obligation to put all of these funding sources within the budget.
Are you guys flat out against this concept of a one-year budget that he's talking
Yeah,
about?
I mean, if you look at the history, which I've read through a lot of this history, the shift to a biennium budget grew out of the spending cap. The state of Connecticut was concerned of the impact an income tax would have on this state and that we would spend too much. And what they looked at was, let's project out our spending and do a 2-year biennium budget. And frankly, in 2016, House Republicans proposed doing a 5-year projection on our spending because it makes no sense to do things incrementally. Last year, Democrats refused to make budget adjustments and that put us in the hole that we're in today. So to suggest that we should do that all over again and only look to 1 year when the second year isn't stabilized isn't acceptable. You can't build a foundation that you know is cracked and ignore it and then try to build the walls on the house. And that's what the Democrats want to do.
From the speaker today with this 1 year budget, when do you think you'll take that up?
Well, we have only a week to do it. I mean, and we're running out of time. We still don't have a bill that fixes energy costs for our residents. Now we don't have a budget. And we're going to see bills now beginning to be passed, like we saw last night with the housing bill, that is essentially committing the state of Connecticut to more money and to more spending. And when you start doing that, it's very dangerous to this whole budget process because we are going to pigeonhole ourselves into something that we can't afford.